Mm, 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 There we go. I think. Yes. I
Yes.
saw a flash. There we go. There it is. It did the thing.
Yay!
Hooray. And it's time for me to tweet that we are live, as we should, because otherwise I
It
will.
is time. My phone got the notification.
That's awesome. Speaking of notification, that early morning release information was like,
Oh, the expansion.
yeah.
Yeah, I tried to keep appraised on it during the day today. Like, oh, okay, what day is the 14th? Oh, it's a Tuesday. Well, looks like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not coming into work that day.
Yeah.
Sorry, boss.
I was just like, it was so funny because I'd gotten up and was kind of doing my thing in the morning, and I I hadn't I hadn't had my coffee yet, and I was usually I don't
Ah.
really check Twitter before I have my coffee, which is a normal rule that I have, which is like you'll be a lot more tolerant of the BS if you've had some coffee in your system. But
Yeah, I
all
think
of a
it's a good
sudden,
policy.
yeah, and then I see the announcement, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and then all it's like when people start to whine about the release date conflicting with something in their lives that they've already had planned, it
Blizzard, how
just,
dare you?
yeah, like how dare you schedule, or I'm so bummed that that's blah 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 date and I'm not going to be in town, and it's like that's not their fault. And
Yeah.
so
Well, I
I find my rage meter start to like and I'm like, Jules, you didn't
yeah.
have your coffee yet. Oh yeah. Turn it off. Go get your coffee.
Then come back. Yeah.
I'm so much
I
nicer once I've had my coffee.
Well, I could understand I could understand being bummed, but not being, like, oh man, that sucks. I'm gonna miss like the first couple days because I'm on vacation. You're on vacation.
Yeah.
Enjoy the vacation. The
Yeah.
game will be back when you come back. But being bummed, yeah, that's one thing I can understand. Oh man, that sucks. But I'm gonna be on vacation, so that works. I mean, my anniversary is the previous week, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, at least it wasn't the Tuesday before that, because then I would have a problem.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, it's on my anniversary. Looks like I'm sleeping on the couch. Are we going to dinner? Sorry, I gotta get to 110. I'm sorry.
I'm
Gotta
gunning.
go.
I'm gunning.
I'm lovely. You understand. I can't. Can't stop, won't stop.
Just can't stop. Won't stop. Let's
Uh,
go. Yeah. So then after I consumed my caffeine and then I went back and read that stuff, I was like, all right, well, you know what? Ignore that. Ignore that. Ignore that. Um,
yeah.
and it happened again later today. You know, Blizzard does this announcement at PAX where they release the new hero for Heroes of the Storm,
Yeah, I
and
saw that. That's
which
cool.
he looks badass. And
Yeah.
all I see is just like whining and grouching and everything. Well, all of these other problems in the game, Blizzard, and you're focusing on creating lore for the game. But it's like, oh my
Who's
god.
creating lore? You're adding a character.
Well, they are. They're actually doing a whole like they're releasing a comic series. Like
Ooh.
they're actually starting to build a universe about the Nexus. And so
Hey, I'm down with that.
I know it's like these cool things. And like I understand that's like some people that don't care, but
Yeah.
just the everybody seems to have a reason to complain about stuff. And so it's like I got super excited about Decker Kane and I was like, he looks so fun. I just want to try him. And someone thanked me for like being super hype and positive about it. And I'm like, what do you like? They just like it's all bitching around wherever they were looking, and
Yeah.
like that's
It's
not
like,
good. Like just bothers
This
me.
is they're not working on the things that I want them to work on right now. Rawr.
Yeah,
Like,
and
they have more than one team. They're not everybody is not sitting around working on one character at a time. They work on characters months in advance.
yeah.
Maybe something's in the pipeline. You don't know. Don't pretend like you know.
I mean, you can
Don't
pretty
pretend
much
like you know what's best for their
guarantee.
game.
You can pretty much guarantee there's stuff in the pipeline
Oh
that
yeah, they're
they're
like 5 or 6
developing.
heroes ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And I mean,
game improvements and tweaks, and it's like this stuff doesn't like magically appear overnight, and so
yeah.
yeah, it was just one of those days today where I was just like, everybody seemed to be really grumpified, and it just
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, another thing was the collector's edition for Battle for Azeroth too. That raised a lot of griping. And they didn't include 3 of the things that they're known for including that I really enjoy. It's the art book, a physical copy of the soundtrack, and a behind the scenes Blu-ray or DVD. I really like those things, and I'm kind of let down that they're not on there because I like seeing that insight. But with there being a novel in there, it's kind of cool. At least they gave us the digital download. And, and of course, me being the collector, they have that giant seal thing that you get that I can probably put behind me with the Alliance Lion right there. I'm like, yeah, and then no mouse pad either. And I'm like, oh, well, I won a Diablo 3 mouse pad at BlizzCon like 3 or 4 years ago. Been using it the whole time. I don't play the Witch Doctor, but there it is.
Yeah.
And it works. And it's
free.
bigger than the ones that they always give it, and it was free. So, can't really complain too much.
You're like,
Plus, I get 2 mounts out of it too, 2 mounts and a pet. So, that's worth it for me.
yeah, definitely. It's just
Slap a mount on it, and it's mine.
yeah, it's just the I don't know. It's just like I was kind of frustrated with humankind today. Like, I'm
Yeah.
just a little bit frustrated with that. And like Tiber says, I want them to be announcing BlizzCon, but they're announcing other stuff, and it's like we can't control when BlizzCon announcement is coming, and
Nope.
it's like I don't know. It's just like it'll come when it comes. Like we can't really do anything about it. So it's just gonna be when it comes. And
Yeah.
So
We just have to be ready for when they announce it, and that's all.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, let's go.
yeah. So I don't know, but we won't dwell on the negative stuff today.
Nah.
We'll dwell on making life better for at least one person in our community, and hopefully more by just doing a show to begin with. So
That's all we can do.
that's right. That's right.
Try to help one person.
And by the way, it is snowing again. Just so you know.
April Fool's was 4 days ago, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it.
We got 9 inches of snow on Monday and Tuesday between the 2 days. It
Goodness
is
gracious.
snowing again right now, and it will most likely be snowing again on Sunday. It's April. Come on. I'm done with this. And I'm going to the negative stuff again. So we won't go to the negative stuff.
But snow is so pretty. And you can leave your drinks outside because it's cold enough.
Yeah, like
You don't need it. You save space in your fridge. That's what I like about winter is I can go on the back porch and get a soda or something.
Yeah.
And I don't have to. Then I can fill the fridge with other things. Yay!
Yeah, like people just
Might
like
have
leave their cans of soda and stuff in the garage, and then it's you just have
Yeah.
it refrigerated for you. But
Well, and I woke up the last couple of days. It's been in the upper 30s in the morning. Our lows have been in the upper 30s, so it's been quite chilly. I'll get outside. I'm like, ooh, goodness.
yeah,
Where's my jacket? My work jacket. I'm like, oh, it's in my truck. I gotta go.
it's like come
No.
on now.
Gotta go find it. Like, come on now. It's too late for this. We need
Yeah.
to like. I am not ready for summer by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
I do not want 100-degree temperatures and then have to be up in attics where it's 130, 140. No, not ready for that. So I'm kind of like, well, it's cold, but it's manageable. It's kind of nice. At least when it's not like blowing cold wind, I'm fine. If it's just
Yeah.
cold, I'm cool. Just no wind, please.
No wind, please.
No wind, please.
Let's see. Soundboardy stuff. Let's see if everything's working properly today. Please be working properly today. Let's try this one.
But I was gonna bring like a pizza. We're gonna sit and have pizza.
Good.
We were.
We have some fun things on the soundboard.
Yes, we do.
Let's make sure everything's there. Yes.
Might have snow in Jersey.
Yeah, my dad was saying there might be getting snow this weekend. It's like, everybody's just like, we are done. We are done. We've had enough. Like, make it stop. My cat is walking past my boom arm and getting fur stuck in the Velcro. There's cat hair in my Velcro.
Yeah, I think I may have a little bit in the Velcro on mine too.
Yeah,
Looking at it, I think I see one.
Cat hair in the Velcro. All right, chat room. Let's ready check you. Let's do the ready check thing. We might as well get ourselves started on time today.
Yeah.
What is this noise?
Oh.
Pressing the ones. Pressing the ones. They're ready. Coming prepared. Who's not prepared? Who's in the chat room and they're not prepared for this raid? I don't think you're ready for this. This is Draven.
Dang it. He leaves for one show, comes back, he's not ready.
He's not ready. It's just like, what the heck, man? All right. I'm going to switch that to that. And this. Okay, well, we're pulling without Draven because he is not ready.
He'll catch up. He'll get back.
You ready, Markonen?
Yeah.
What is
I don't know what that was. I don't know.
What's going on right now?
Doppler effect. I'm tired and the caffeine is trying to take effect.
So we're gonna have Punchy Conan. Is that what it is? It's Punchy Conan.
Oh man, I was punchy this morning at work. I apologized to a coworker because I was like, I just kind of snapped his head off in the middle of a group work text in front of like all my coworkers.
Oops.
The day after my boss complimented me, he's like, "Oh, you're such a positive, nice guy at work. You're always looking on the bright side of things." And I'm like, "I want to kill you." Not quite that bad, but it was more of I just stated the policy and I was like, no. Like I was very short with that person.
I am not.
I felt bad afterwards because like I probably shouldn't have said it like that, and I apologized, and I ended up working with him the rest of the day. So it's fine, but
yeah, like
it was the equivalent to Jules not having a coffee in the morning and experiencing people kind before that.
Yes.
It's just like
which you should not do. So
yep.
All right. Well, we're gonna do this thing called a show because that's what we do. And
I think we should
do it in its episode number, which is 267. And 267. Here we go. 267 records in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the podcast about the Blizzard gamer behind the keyboard.
It's episode 267 of Tauren Think Tank. Today is Thursday, April 5th, 2018. My name is Jules. It is 8:05 p.m. We actually started early on time-ish, if you will. And with me, as always, is the man who could probably use some more caffeine to drive the ship. He's got a new nickname. Please welcome Punchy Conan to the show.
You could etch "I need more caffeine" on my tombstone, and I'd be okay with that. Hey, everybody. Welcome aboard the USS Triple T, episode 267, where we're going to do the thing like we always do, but I am tired.
Marconin is a tired puppy today, so there might be some punch, there might be some weird. Just, buckle in, enjoy the ride.
Yep.
We're gonna do it like
hang
we
on
always
tight.
do. Well, let's just dive right in. Why are you tired? What's going on? What's been happening these past 7 days?
I've been working a whole lot this week and not sleeping very well or very much.
Yeah.
But it's going well overall, I'd say. It's just with the nature of what I do, I am helping other people all day. Like on our team, I'm helping people. Every day I've been the last guy at work. I've worked till 9 o'clock, till 8 o'clock, till 7 o'clock. I rolled in right as Jules and I were starting the Skype call for the show today. And it doesn't leave me much time. I have stuff I'd like to get. I have projects I'm working on. I have things that I need to get done around the house. And this week I just can't do it. And it's making me frustrated because I can't do the things I need to get done because I'm always working or attempting to sleep. So I'm very frustrated with that. And it sometimes leads to me being very punchy and short with coworkers in group texts, for which I apologize for later. And it wasn't that bad. I mean, there's other coworkers that can be a lot worse than I am.
Yeah.
But it's by comparison from my normal level of how I am at work, it was like he's having a bad day. So there's that. There's as much as I love people, some people can make you mad, or I'm very nice when it comes to being mad at people on the road. The other morning, I was at an intersection trying to turn left, and I start to hear a siren approaching the intersection. Right. Light turns left light turns green. So I'm supposed to get turn. I know it's coming. There's like ambulance, fire truck, police car, something. Like, clear the intersection. That's what people do.
Yeah.
Guy behind me just lays on his horn for me to go. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing anything. Then all of a sudden, here comes a fire truck screaming through. And I roll down my window and I turn around and I look at him as the truck's going by. I'm like, see? Like the whole look where you raise your hand. You're like, see, stupid? If I can hear it, you can hear it.
Yeah.
Then I get back in my car and I zoom away. And I'm just like, it was that point of the day. Like, I hadn't had my coffee yet either, which I don't drink coffee, but I hadn't fully awakened yet. And I was in a bad mood because he just be courteous, dude. You can hear the siren. I'm not being a jerk and not on my phone, not seeing the traffic. It's just this jerk behind me is like, you need to go.
Yeah.
I'm late for work.
Yep.
See, stupid? It's a fire truck. Emergency.
Yeah.
Dude.
And that's the major problem. It's just everybody's just focused on themselves and not focused on what's going on around them. And so but you had actual, they could see the fire truck and the ambulance go through the intersection as the reason why. I mean, hopefully that guy felt his heart drop from his chest to his belly in that crap feeling.
I hope so, and I hope his lady sitting in the passenger seat gave him an earful, because they were both in their car, and I was like, see?
Yeah.
It's a fire truck. You wait for the fire truck.
Yeah, exactly.
Today on the show, kids, learn courtesy on the road. Oh, people sometimes,
People sometimes.
Love people, but still, that happens. That's kind of the funny story from this week. It happens. Mm-hmm. People are dumb. So
yes.
that's one thing. But there are some good things about the last week. We downed a new boss in Heroic. We got Heroic Portal Keeper down.
Nice.
in Entorus. So another check mark on the Heroic boss list. So that was great.
Mm-hmm. I
may have to start taking over as a secondary tank for the next month or so, because one of my friends is not she's having trouble with lights and stuff with her medications, so she can't tank at the moment, or won't be able to, has to bow out for a bit. So I may be I may be the co-tank for a little while, but that's okay because my pally is up for it. And trying to think what else has been going on. Look around the room as if something has changed. Nothing's really changed. I saw Ready Player One twice.
Yes.
And it was still just as good on the second viewing, or at least for me. I mean, I'm not a book Puritan because I understand that you change from when you go from book to screen, you got to change stuff, and so I was prepared for that and took it as a brand new creation, and I had fun with it, so it was great. And I know you liked it as well.
I did. I went and I saw it on Sunday, and I was a little skeptical when I haven't been to the movies for a while just because I've had some really bad movie viewing experiences in the past, like a couple times. People being really rude and inconsiderate and stuff. And as I sat there in the theater, I had a family with 2 small kids come in and sit right behind me. And I'm just like, oh no. And then a family with 2 small kids come and sit right in front of me. And
little kid sandwich.
Yeah, so I'm prepared to like have to move at some point. Let me just tell you, the kids made no sound at all. They were silent the entire time. And the guy in front of me with the father had his phone on in the dark all the way through to the previews. And I'm like, well, you turn your phone off. Come on. Like, just come on. At least he didn't open it up during the actual movie.
Well, that's good. At least.
Yeah, so it was the adults that were crappy and the kids were perfect. So I was pleasantly surprised by this because I was preparing. I was preparing to like have to pick up my stuff, popcorn and all, and go haul my cookies down to the front or something just to get away from the obnoxious people. So, but I really enjoyed it. I had a great time. And then I come home and I was talking to Pat Crane and he's like, I almost walked out of the first 15 minutes. It made me so mad. And I'm like, wait, what? Did we see the same movie?
What made him mad?
I think it was he got angry with the that there was so much exposition, things being explained versus actually being shown.
That's a fair criticism.
And like all the stuff that he was saying, I'm like, okay, I can see what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I can see how you felt that way. But I literally just sat back because I knew that the movie was different than the book, significantly different. And so I just kind of buckled in and enjoyed the ride. And then after it was over, I was like, there's a couple things that I would just like, that's a little weird. That pacing was off, but whatever. It
was still fun.
Yeah, like I spent the money, and I was not sad that I spent the money to go see it in the theater. So that I consider to be a decent experience.
Well, and any chance for me to see a DeLorean on the big screen, I'm gonna go for it. Right? Be it CGI or for real. Like you can just say, okay, we're gonna show stock photos of a DeLorean for 90 minutes for $8. I'm like, can you break a 10?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I went window shopping on eBay looking for DeLoreans, and it's like, well, how much are they nowadays? Can I just get a used one? I need to have that car, just something.
The maintenance of that car right now would just be that just wreck you. That would wreck you too much. But
I'd be homeless, but happy in a DeLorean.
Living in your DeLorean.
I'd be living in my DeLorean. It's very cramped. It's a small car.
Yeah, definitely. So what else is going on? Anything?
Oh goodness. I don't really know. Just nothing really much besides that. Easter was a good time. I spent Easter with my family, and
nice.
And I, as far as Pokemon Go goes, I got Mew today. I finished my big research that you have to do in the game. It's like a big quest line, and so I did all the things you need for the quest, and I caught Mew while I was at work today. So now I've caught all the ones I can catch. So that's very cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool that they're adding these things in for people who, like, okay, yeah, you might not play every day, but you can slowly chip away at these objectives and get things and get items, and it was cool. I'm glad how they brought Mew into it and new dynamic as opposed to just hardcore raiding.
Mm-hmm.
It's like with WoW or any other game. Like there's other avenues to get cool things. So it's a step in the right direction, I think. So I'm happy about that. But yeah, that's about it. One thing I didn't do was color my cats. So I know you might have a story or two about your week, and that may be one of them. So
about coloring my cat.
I'll just tee that up to you. So how was your week?
Coloring my cat is going to be a show title possibility. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a bit of an adventure yesterday, and Marconin had sent me a text message to tell me a couple of good news things that he had gotten. And
yes.
He does the traditional thing that Marconin does, which is, how's your day going? Or how's your morning going? Because it was early. It was, 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. And this particular morning, I had decided that I was going to, my hair is shades of purple right now. And when you color your hair purple, it doesn't last terribly long. I've had my purple hair for about a month. And my hairdresser had given me a recommendation of some treatment that I can put into my hair that will re-dye it for about 10 shampoos or so. And it comes in a tub. It's kind of like a lotion almost that you like a cream conditioner kind of thing that you put in your hair. But you got to wear gloves so they don't stain your hands, because it'll stain your hands, and you put it on your dry hair. So I'm in the bathroom. I've got a towel over my chest and to cover myself, and the tub of hair color is on the counter, and my cat Garrus has decided that he wants to be up on the counter no matter what. And so I've shooed him off the counter about 4 different times before I started doing this, and he keeps coming into the bathroom. Now I have gloves on, and I've got the hair dye working. I'm working it into my hair. And he walks up to the counter with his look like he's going to go. And I'm like, look at him, and I go, no. And he walks away, and then he comes back, no. And he walks away. So I am putting color in my hair, and he explode jumps from the floor onto the counter right on top of the tub of hair dye.
He hit his target.
And so my reaction, of course, is no, and it scares him, and he jumps down. So I go to give him a nudge with my foot. I take my foot, my foot is bare, and I nudge him like on the side, and I pull my foot back, and it's purple.
Uh-oh.
And I just start swearing. Because he's about to walk out of my bathroom onto my carpet.
Oh, no.
And so I have to take the gloves off, run after him, and he's going, so I pick him up. I kind of picked him up by his front paws and leaned him up, and there's hair dye all over his belly. All in his white belly. And so and then I'm swearing again. And so grab paper towel, don't get it wet so that I don't set the hair dye. Run over to him. He's going, ah. So I'm picking him up by his front paws and putting him up into the air, and I'm rubbing his belly with the paper towel. And he's just not having it. He does not know what to do. And he takes off, and I'm like, and so at this point I have to finish my hair. Well, I got the stuff off of him. I do not know if he's actually purple or not. So I finished the hair color. I have to wash it out, which means me taking a shower. And I go out there. He's calmed down, so I kind of gently pick him up. I look at his belly. It's just like this faint tinge of purple. It just was on there super short amount of time. And I'm like, that was a bullet that I just dodged. Because if his paw landed in it, if he had landed in it any more than he had, it would have been on my carpet it would have been through my house, and just. So when he says to me, how's your morning going? I'm like, well, I just had to wipe purple hair dye off of my cat. So
Yeah.
So it was really funny after the fact, but it was not so funny when it was happening, because it could have been really bad. So that's my cat coloring story. There you go. The rest of the week has been good. If you haven't already listened to it, I highly recommend that you take a listen to the latest episode of Convert to Raid, BattleNet News. I was on the show this week with Thist and Pat Crane, and the segment about the Family Guy episode of Warcraft was quite memorable, and
Okay.
I would highly recommend watching the YouTube video to go along with it, because the reactions to what happened is one of just really funny. So
Oh boy.
yeah, so check that out. It was a really, really funny show, and I was also on an episode of BattleNet Sports this week too. So that
Sweet.
is so the podcasting has been happening, lots and lots of stuff going on, and that's about it. That's what's going on for me. So before we jump into our topic, do you have anything else to share?
Oh goodness, there was something, but I completely forgot what it was.
Okay, well,
I don't remember.
save it for
Well-
the end then, I guess.
We'll see if I remember. Then we'll get to it.
Let's get to it. All right, we're going to jump into a think tank question, and let's do this one.
Tauren between options? Let Triple T help you sort it out.
It's think tank time. It's part of the show where we have a listener question, and hey, guess what? We do.
Ooh.
I know, like what? Like, whoa, we have.
When did that happen?
It just entered our mailbox like magic.
Poof.
So let's read said letter so we can get into it. It says, I come from a small, non-traditional, not religious family. There's nothing overly special about us, but when I was about 8 or 9 years old, something happened within the family that even now, over 20 years on, I will never fully understand, and that no one will talk about. But my grandmother had a blowout with one of her sons that resulted in him and his family, cousins that I was very close with, being cut out completely from our family. They weren't allowed to speak to them and told to not have any contact with any of them. It was like they didn't exist. Fast forward 10 or so years and social media became a thing. Naturally, Facebook and its trusty suggested friends put me in touch with my eldest cousin from the family that got deleted from my life. Of course, we reconnected and she told me more about what happened to why they lost contact with us. She was 2 years older than me, so I figured she would know about the situation. And it got me angry that her dad's mom, my grandma, could just delete people out of her life over a fight. As far as we knew, was that he wanted to marry his now wife and she didn't approve. Once I mentioned this to my mom, his sister, all hell broke loose that I got in touch with the family. A few more years passed and I lost contact with her again. She claimed I was constantly trying to outdo her, as I got married a few months before her, and I don't like dealing with toxic people, and I cut my ties. Maybe my grandma was right to cut them out of our lives to protect us from that kind of personality. However, things have evolved, and the spotlight is now on me. A year and a half ago, I decided I was going to get a divorce. I kept it and the reasons behind it very private, and what I thought was between me and my now ex, and what I thought was between me and my now ex. I didn't air the drama on Facebook, and therefore my family, my grandma, cousins, etc., were kept in the dark about it. I didn't feel like it was their business. Due to this, however, my ex wasn't afraid to tell all of my family that the reason that I was leaving him was because I found another guy to be with, but nothing to do with my depression and him controlling me and mentally abusing me daily at all. Because of this, it has taken over a year to mend the relationship with my parents and siblings, to tell them the real reasons and get them to believe me and not the crap he made up. However, this hasn't flowed onto my grandma. Now I'm the one who's been cut from the family. She wants nothing to do with me and has done the same thing in telling my cousins to cut me from their life. When she wants to see her only grandchildren, it should be via my mom, and they aren't to mention me. I've wanted to reach out to her, but my mom has warned me against doing so. One of my cousins recently got engaged and has been told that she must get our grandma's permission for me to be there before I'm asked to come. My mom said she then won't go to the wedding if I'm not asked. So now I feel it would be a pity invite for the sake of numbers. So, what's your take on this? Do I put this in the toxic people cut out of my life box, or do I try and repair what little relationship with the extended family I have? And how on earth would you go about it when they really they want nothing to do with me personally? And this is from S. Aries. Just so we know, it is a female writer on here too.
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
Man,
Mm-hmm.
grandma's got issues.
Like, number one, off the bat, that was like the first thing that stuck out at me. Like, who's the common denominator in all of this cutting out and toxic stuff?
Jeez, Granny.
She's like, she wants everything to be her way and how the family should run, but like that's bad. Like,
yeah,
that's really bad.
Yeah,
And
that is really bad, and it's I think it's a control issue as well.
Oh yeah,
because like the grandma's totally controlling who gets to talk to who, when, and where,
mm-hmm.
and she's dominating the entire family. And like Bim said in the chat, well, that's a matriarch abusing her power.
Yeah,
100%. And I think she's the one who needs to get cut out of the rest of the family, or something like that, because that's just, it's sad. I mean, it's sad enough when people do it, but when it's like the higher ups and the elders in the family that's doing it, to me, that seems even more sad, because like grandma's not going to live much longer, like compared to the rest of the family.
Yeah.
Like, and usually when people get towards their golden years and they look back on their life, they see their regrets and they try to mend fences rather than burn bridges. And this is going against what I assume would be most people's viewpoints at that part of their life. So that's like my initial thoughts on it, which, I mean, not everybody's going to think the same way, but it goes against what I would assume people would think.
Yeah. I mean, I had a family member who basically just torched relationships up until the day he died with everybody, and his children and his sisters-in-law and that kind of thing. And it on his deathbed, nobody was there because he literally burnt every bridge. So it does happen. People have their reasons, and we can't speculate what it is that grandma is after, except for power and manipulation of what people should or should not be permitted to do. But the thing about it is that most of these people that are being mentioned here are adults. This is not just like, I mean, I get it. If you've got a situation with the kids and you're like, this is the rule, you're not supposed to talk to aunt so-and-so or cousin so-and-so. They're not part of the family anymore. But then our writer goes out and just has the opportunity to have a relationship with the cousin through Facebook, kind of discovers that there's stuff there that's like, hey, look, you are toxic. Maybe grandma was right, but these are the things that people should be allowed to make decisions about for themselves. Like, to tell people that you are not permitted to attend a wedding, she has to give permission for you to, you don't need that crap.
It's not grandma's wedding.
Right.
It's her cousin's wedding.
Right. And but that's the thing, is that it's now become the decision-making point. Like, if grandma doesn't want you to come, now her mom is saying, well, if grandma says you can't come, I'm going to not come out of protest because I think this is dumb. And so that's the major issue here.
Yeah.
And, you're saying your mom has told you not to have anything to do with your grandmother, or not to try to smooth things out with her. This is the problem. In family situations, there should be an opportunity for someone to make their case.
Yeah.
If you've never had the opportunity to talk about what went on with you and your ex, because that was your own business, and your ex decided to just share what his side of the story was, whether it be valid or not.
Yeah.
And
even
they
even
believe
just all that
him.
lie. That's what I was thinking earlier. Like, what does that say about grandma and the family when they'll believe the ex over their own flesh and blood, or at least be willing to hear both sides and understand the full picture before making a judgment? Like, that's the part I was thinking about earlier. It's just, why would you not at least want to hear, your granddaughter's side of the story and be like, is this really true? Is that what happened? Like, because, if you did do that, I've got some choice words for you. I still love you, but I've got some words for you. Yeah, like, it's going to be tough love, but it's going to be love behind it. But you're going to listen to me for a bit. Like, why not at least do that? Why not at least try to get the full story instead of cutting people out? I've got a family member that refuses to come over to my grandparents' house. I haven't seen him in like 3 or 4 years over a small, not a small, but there was a very stressful situation with the family. It got worked out. People forgave each other, but over some assumptions and just flat out not truth, just flat out false ideas and thoughts that he had. Mm-hmm. My uncle won't come by. He disrespected my grandfather, who is one of the nicest guys on the planet. My grandparents are that stereotypical. When you think of a Norman Rockwell grandparent, that's them. And that's not them playing anybody. That's them being themselves. And they're nice people. They've forgiven everybody. Everybody's moved on except for him. Yeah. I mean, but the good thing is like, he refuses to come over, but he doesn't forbid my aunt or my cousins from coming over. Now, granted, my cousins are all out of the house in college now, but even before, when they were both in high school and lived there, he would always let them come by. He kept it personal. He didn't try to force anyone else to not be around family because he's being stubborn and a little child.
Yeah, it's his issue. At
least it's his issue. He's not forcing families to not be around each other. He's sitting in his own stew, And so
that's the way that that's the thing that is the hardest part, is that, even if you're upset with the fact of whatever your uncle has decided to do, he has still given free reign to the people around him to make their own decisions. And that's what this grandmother is lacking.
Exactly.
And so that's the problem. So I'm going to be the first one to say this anytime. I don't care if they're family. If they are toxic, if they are causing you mental, emotional harm, then you don't have to take it. You don't have to subject yourself to it. And so if this situation was like your cousin's wedding, right? And you aren't permitted, quote unquote, to go. You haven't been given permission to go. If you really want to go, I would contact your cousin directly. And to let her know, hey, I just, this is what has happened. I would like to come, but I want to ask you what you would prefer. Because unfortunately, like who wants to make I don't want to go and make a scene at my cousin's wedding, right? If my grandmother is going to come in and throw a chair or something, or, have a complete meltdown and throw a fit and distract from the big day, I would not want that to happen. but I would want to talk to my cousin and to say, I will respect what you want.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely your cousin's wedding. It's not your grandma's wedding. It's your cousin's wedding. So you don't need to go through your grandmother. You need to go straight to the source and see what they want.
Yeah.
Like,
Now,
hey,
if
I'll
it's
respect your decision, whatever. But
Yeah.
I'd like to go, because I want to wish you well. I want to be there and participate because you're family.
Mhm.
If you don't want that, then that's fine. If you want to go talk to grandma and we settle it out, that's fine too.
Yeah, that's how
But
you wrest
you've got
the
to-
power back, is
Yeah.
to not give her the option of preventing you without having, circumvent her. She's not the one deciding who shows up to the wedding and who doesn't. So get that out of the way.
Yeah. And if she does end up causing a scene, get a camera, record it, put it on YouTube, make a lot of money. Believe me, like, your wedding day is awesome, and weddings days are awesome. They'll have some good memories. They may have some bad memories, but it doesn't matter in the long run. Like, I enjoyed my wedding day. There was some crisis moments with things not going right, absolutely, but it doesn't really matter in the last almost 8 years since then. It's just a blip in the radar. I think about it from time to time, but it doesn't have this huge, heavy, big, significant meaning. If she causes a scene, video and put it on YouTube. That's all I got to, monetize, baby. Monetize.
it.
Crazygrandmas.com or whatever. Probably don't go to that website because I don't know what would
I have no idea.
Don't try. Do not go to that. Just in case.
Did we warn you that there's Punchy Conan in the house? Well, you've been warned again in case you forgot.
There was a disclaimer. Yeah, there was a disclaimer.
Yeah. So, I mean, the hard part about it is that no matter what, there's going to be some drama here, because either you've decided that you're going to push up against what grandma has decreed, or you're going to back away and not deal with any of it. And, then your mom has to make her decision about whether she wants to, just remembering that every person in this scenario has free will and choices that they can make, whether or not they want to subject themselves to that. And I think that what we often run under are these set of expectations of, it is my family and it is a wedding in my family, and therefore I am obligated to attend, or I am obligated to make a decision regarding this. Like, I've been in situations where I refused to go to a family gathering, not my own family, but spousal families, because of issues that were really bad. And it's like, I don't want to subject myself to that hell anymore. I don't want to be in that situation. And so I made my decision to say, you go, I am not going. My family, my parents have had issues. My mom has had issues with her siblings. And sometimes for certain family events, they don't go if there's another sibling going that they don't get along with, because there's some really bad crap that has happened in the family. And, rather than just say it, there's this expectation that because it's your family, you have to go. No, you don't. You don't have to have a relationship. You don't have to be involved. But it's that feeling of oh, well, when you've been forbidden to talk to these family members, the natural curiosity comes to say, well, why? I need an explanation.
Why not?
Right. What's so bad? Because, again, the decision was made for you and not allowing you to come to that conclusion yourself. People think they're protecting you and they're, whatever. Now, let's say it's a scenario where, let's go down the extreme path for a second. And let's say that it's a scenario where someone is cut out of the family because they were sexually abusing another family member. Let's say that happens, because I think this is something that this has happened to people. And so it becomes this thing that nobody talks about. and but this person is no longer welcome, and you are now protecting your family from this happening. I do think that at some point it's a good parenting decision to, when they're old enough, is to explain these things. Explain what happened. Let them know, because we so often just like say, family drama, don't worry about it, don't think about it, you're too young to know. But that kid who's never met their cousin and all of a sudden just like, well, why can't I go over to Cousin Jimmy's anymore, is like, what's happening? And so
yeah, and then they're curious. I mean, we're curious. We want to know.
We want to know. Like, it's part of your family history, but nobody wants to talk about it. And it's like, if you don't talk about these things and why it's happened, then just, history has the potential to repeat itself. And it's just like, there's so much this control thing that happens, especially with this grandmother who's just like, you're never talking to these people again, and you have no idea why. So you go out and you reach out to your cousin and you're like, okay. But even then, there's always two sides to every story. You know,
yeah. Her
situation is that her ex-husband tells them a bunch of crap about her that isn't true, or leaves out a whole bunch of stuff that he didn't do, that he, that he didn't tell them about. So now they've painted this picture of her that she can't battle.
Yeah.
They think of her as this, oh, you went out and found another guy to replace your ex. Well, we don't want anything to do with you now. Well, it's like, you never gave her a chance to talk. Like,
yeah,
so much crap. I can't stand it.
Yeah. Drama llama in full force.
It really bothers me to have that you have to deal with this. So honestly, if it were me, I would just be like, I'm done. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Nope, no more.
Well, and Jules, I like to, family means a lot to me, and so I like having my family around. So, I mean, for me, I'm very conflicted when it comes to this, because it's such a foreign idea to how grandparents are, because I was blessed with very, very sweet grandparents, even the sets that have passed away.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you got to draw the line somewhere. You asked us if you need to just cut them out of your life or try and repair what you have. I always try to go for reconciliation first. At least try. The only thing that you have complete control over is what you do. If your grandma still won't listen to you for whatever reason, if she wants to burn that bridge, she can sit there with a match, because you're going to at least try. I always believe in at least trying. Be like, hey, I have my other side of the story. I didn't cheat on him. He was mentally and verbally abusing me. If you want to hear my side of the story, get the whole picture, I'll give that to you, because, you're my grandma. I want you in my life. You can at least try. There's no harm in at least trying. And if they want to be the way that they are, 86, get out of there. Just say, okay, I tried. I did everything I could. I tried to meet you halfway and you weren't willing to meet me there. So, okay, then fine. Cut them out of your life. If they don't want to be there, don't let them in. There's only so much that you can do. But I say at least try to do that.
Yeah,
there's always an opportunity for that. I'm a pie in the sky optimist, but you can at least give it a shot, because then you at least gave it a shot. You at least say, hey, at least I tried.
Yeah.
You can't blame yourself for the way that they're at. There's no doubt in your mind well, did I do something wrong? No, you didn't do anything wrong. You tried to make peace. You tried.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
The thing about it that I disagree with in that respect is that there's so much judgmentalism going on, and so much unwillingness to hear any other side than the one that they want to hear, that it's just like, it really feels like it will literally just be a wasted effort to try to share your side of the story, because I've done that. I've been there, and if with someone who just will not budge in their beliefs and will not stop believing what they want to believe because that's what they believe, and you're not going to change me, and I know best because I'm the matriarch, and it results in a lot of pain, and there's already been pain inflicted. So that's where I would feel like I don't agree with. I mean, yes, I agree with the method of trying to reconcile with someone who you are at conflict with, but there has to be a willingness to want to resolve the situation. And when she's literally just like exerting like this power struggle of, you can't go to this wedding, you're not permitted, or you're not permitted to talk to so and so and so. Like, why? Who says? Why do you think that it's the best idea for you to dictate that for my actions? Because I'm an adult.
Exactly.
So yeah. I guess like I support what you're saying, but in this scenario, I think it's going to end in, I'm going to be pessimistic and say I don't believe that there's a lot of positive things that'll result in that. Until Grandma is willing to come to the table and at least... Until
she's pushing daisies.
Maybe.
Like, you've got to wait till she's dead. Then you can reconcile with your family.
Well, maybe.
Sometimes people are like that. Maybe.
It very well may be. Because if, there is that situation where they're just stuck in their ways and they do not want to hear anything except what they believe. You cannot change their mind because they know best. And
they know all.
And it is painful and disheartening and stressful, because that conversation is like some of the worst that you can have with somebody. And, most of it comes down to a lack of being able to communicate properly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in this world who do not know how to communicate properly. And to listen to a counterpoint, to be open to hearing someone else's perspective, and to be able to accept someone for who they are, even with their flaws. This poor girl has like this perceived, like, as soon as like this negative impression came into play, like you said earlier, like, we're going to have a sit down and you're going to hear a mouthful from me and I'm going to tell you what I think, but I still love you. There's none of that.
Yeah, there's none of that.
And that's where I am. That's why I'm disagreeing with you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's fair. That's very fair. Because I mean, she's not given anyone a hint that she's willing to listen to her side of the story. I just hate the idea of a missed opportunity to reconcile, and that's why I took that position. But like, totally, if she's not going to listen, I mean, y'all, you can reconnect with her at the gravesite after your grandma's dead, and you're all at the funeral.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, she can't keep you from going to that.
Or
My
you
last
could
will
just
and
say,
testament.
I'm not going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Puts it in the will. She can't be at my funeral. You're not going to stop me.
Yeah. Grandma's a very unhappy and angry person, most likely.
Yeah, not sure what her deal is.
And that's
sad.
That's really sad. So do you cut people out of your life or not? That's really up to you. It is really, you have to remember that you're the adult here. You are capable of making your own decisions, and you have free will. And that no one says that you have to or should not have a relationship with someone. Only you say that.
Yeah.
It's not like you're being protected as a child anymore. You're an adult woman, and you get the opportunity to make those decisions on your own. Now, when it comes to people creating false impressions of you to others, you can't control what other people think of you.
Nope.
You can't control what other people say about you. The only thing you can control is how you behave and how you react and what you do. And if it literally is you saying, okay, I'm not going to go to my cousin's wedding, send your cousin a gift and a nice letter.
I was just about to say the same thing.
Yeah.
You're right.
And, wish her well, and make it about her and not about you. And that's the thing. It's sometimes it has to come to a selfless action to be able to just kind of settle it all. So I don't know. I feel like you kind of know the answers for what you need to do. It's just really hard to make those decisions because it's family.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's very tough, especially when it comes to things like weddings and stuff where emotions are going to run high anyway, and it's going to be a lot of stress. So like Jewel said, you could have your mom take a gift and a really nice card from her. Tell her ahead of time, like, hey, this is your day. I'm not going to encroach with you and grandma, but I wish you the best. And then send the gift with your mom. And if your mom wants to go, have her go. Do what you can to decrease the amount of drama in that. Show that you're the cool, calm, and collected one in all of this.
Yeah.
It may shine a light on the other members of your family that, like, hey, I'm not this evil person. I didn't do, just like, hey, just be nice, be yourself. And you wish your grandma well, but you're not going to see her on Christmas or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes it's literally just being selfless on these things. It's that it is not about you. It's about treating these other family members with kindness and, and doing what you feel is right for the situation and for them. Taking yourself out of the equation for a moment. And, so it's hard. It's hard to do that. It's hard to not want to sit there and vehemently defend yourself and say, what you've heard about me, what's been said about me is wrong. But let me tell you something. There are most likely people in your family who are curious about what happened. And if they had the opportunity, they'd ask you. I've had that happen in numerous times in my life where, someone doesn't necessarily, like, they really want to know what happened, but they're not going to be like banging down your door to ask you. But like, when given an opportunity to have a conversation with you, there's usually that moment where someone goes, I've always wanted to know this. I always wanted to ask you. Because you opened the door. You gave them an opportunity to talk to you about it. You made it open, and then they ask. And so if you want to build a relationship with someone in your family, maybe it is sending a card, sending a message on Facebook to connect with them, going as far as maybe, hey, I want to have coffee. Could we have coffee? I don't know. It's just that you have to kind of consider the fact that a lot of times people are afraid to ask these tough questions. They don't know what to say and they don't know how. And they're afraid to ask you to connect with you. But if you like came to them, they'd be like, oh man, that's cool. Like, I totally would want to talk to her and find out more, like, what's going on here. So just think about what that means to you in this respect. I don't necessarily know what it means in terms of like who you're connected to or who you want to connect with, but just think of that context.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to just present yourself as available to talk and willing to talk and share your side of the story, because people, they may be afraid because of what grandma said.
Yeah. I mean, when I was going through my divorce, that's a really tough topic for people to talk to me about, right? But in scenarios where I was actually, physically in the presence of or talking with them one-on-one, they were more comfortable asking me the tough questions. And so, but it wasn't like, hey, I'm going to call you up and say, dude, what happened? Like, that doesn't happen as often as you think it might.
No, it doesn't.
It's more about, I don't know what to say or how to say it, and I want to reach out, but I don't know what to say. And sometimes sometimes the stars have to align to get there. And sometimes you have to initiate it yourself. So I guess that's all I'm going to say about that. But because I feel like that message needed to be said, and I don't necessarily know why, but I'm just going to put it out there. So.
Just going to put it out there, yeah.
Yeah. Anything else with this letter before we wrap it up?
Not really. I think that pretty well explains it. Aries, I hope that you're able to get past this and that things go better for you. Definitely keep us appraised on how things go, and we wish you the best. And I'm very sorry that Grandma's being like this, because that's dumb. That's just dumb.
So much wasted negative energy.
Yeah.
Very much wasted. If you have feedback for us for this episode, please do send it our way. And that is questions@taurenThinkTank.com, or you can jump into our Discord server, which is tinyurl.com/TTTchat2. That's a quick way to get there. You want to send us a tweet? Send us, because we got more characters now on Twitter. You can go to @TaurenThinkTank on Twitter. There you go. All right, let's do some Tell Us One Thing, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We read your submissions because reading your mind would just be creepy.
It was Mark Honen's turn to come up with the questions this week. What is your first question?
My first question is, what is something you do for others that goes unnoticed, but you still do it anyway?
How about like 85% of my job?
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff that happens in the world of Convert to Raid and the things that I do are they're definitely like nobody really knows that it happens. So I'll pick one that I think is worth talking about. I got a tweet today from Mochteld, and she actually tweeted at Pat Crane and told him how cool it was that the show that Convert to Raid was having so many badass women on it, including me and Thist, and just keep doing that, keep bringing in the women in there. And so I will say for the record that the reason that there have been more women coming in is because I have actively pushed for it. And I have actively mentioned it to Pat numerous times about really good women who are doing really good things in the podcast world. And and I said, you need to bring this person onto the show. Him bringing Thist and Thorn onto the show was my suggestion. Him bringing Jocelyn on the show is my suggestion. And so I will take credit for that because, but most people don't know that. so I do things like that all the time. And, and maybe it's not the unnoticed thing. It's just more about the uncredited thing, So a lot of that, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised at the number of things that have happened because of my urging or my suggestion. So,
well, awesome.
Yeah,
that is a very good one. That sounds better than mine, and the reason why I picked this question this week.
Yeah, I'm curious. I want to know why this question came up.
What I do that goes unnoticed, but I still do anyway, is I return shopping carts back to the things that they're designed to go into when you get done at the grocery store, even if they're not mine. Because the other day, Monday, I went grocery shopping and came back to. I went to the back of my car so I could put the groceries in, and there's a cart that was not there when I got to the grocery store. It was just right up against my back bumper. So someone had left it. It didn't do any damage, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's back there. So. I and as I'm, I parked in backwards, so I parked in with the back of my car, towards the middle of the so the front of my car was facing outwards towards the aisle, and so I do my thing. I put all the groceries in the car, and I get my cart and the cart that was left for me, and I'm leaving. And as I'm walking around to go out to the cart return, I see a lady she's going back to her groceries, catty corner from me, so it's kind of like behind me. And so I do that, and after I come back, she's left, and her cart is still there. Like she had just seen me take the carts, and then she decided to leave her cart. She's only 2 squares away from the cart return, people. This is not very far to walk at all. So I grab that cart and stick it there because I don't want someone else to run into it. It's blocking a parking spot.
Yeah.
So it's like those little that was the genesis of this question, is that I return the shopping carts.
Yeah.
I return mine, and if I see another one on the way, I will put it there and push it all the way to the front or all the way to the
push
back.
them all the way in. I will lean into it because that drives me insane too about how many people don't push them in. And it's like, why is this so hard? Like, if you push them in, then more can get in, and just it's
just
so.
That's that one. It's just really it takes 2 seconds. Like it really does not take that much time at all.
I know. I think
could
a lot
understand
of people could say that one.
if you have an unruly child that you need to, like, that would be, or you're having a heart attack, or your lady's about to go into labor with the baby, like emergency situations, I can totally see you leaving your cart.
Yeah.
But that lady was not going into labor, and she did not have a kid with her, so I don't know what the emergency could have been. Could have been one, maybe not. But still, it was kind of like, it was almost like honking the horn as the fire truck's coming out. I'm like, what is this? You know?
Yeah.
It was like a little bit of like, really, people, really? So yeah, that's where this one came from. But we had a couple good answers. You can go ahead and read the first one.
Yeah, Wolf Tracker said, seriously, everything in our household. My partner and I are both disabled, and she never gives me credit for a thing I do, though I do all the housework, make all the appointments, and even give her meds. I don't know. I would say something if you're like feeling a little, we're partners. We should have a little bit of like, thank you would be nice every once in a while.
Yeah. Taking it for granted, doesn't know that it's, she doesn't know what all you do. And I don't know. Like, oh, I thought maybe we could start trading off. You can get your own meds. Mm-hmm. Or, thank me once in a while.
Yeah.
Eli says, easy. I pay the rent.
Yeah.
That is an easy one.
Yeah. Torek says groceries and household necessities, because otherwise we'd be living off of Taco Bell and have napkins as cleaning supplies.
In a pinch, napkins will work.
Yeah.
They saved my butt a couple times.
Yes.
Let's see here. At hashtag 1658, our buddy Ash says, I wouldn't say it doesn't get noticed, but it doesn't get acknowledged as much as I think it should. But I try to always say thank you. I know I could say please more often, but I'm asking for something though.
Yeah.
So it says thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you is yeah. Everybody should do that more often. Thank people for doing things for them, because it is always like, people don't hear it enough. Okay.
Yeah.
So question 2, we'll lighten up the mood a little bit here.
Yeah. The next question was, you get to name the hot new Overwatch team and where they're located. What do you decide?
So, I've actually thought about this because I would love to have a team from Minneapolis since I'm here. So I've the things that you do when you can't sleep is you think about weird stuff. And sometimes that I've thought about, like, what would the Minneapolis team be named, right? And so, the first thing that, of course, always pops into my head is Mayhem, but we have already Florida Mayhem, so it doesn't really work. So it would be like Minneapolis Marauders or Minneapolis Mosh Pit. I don't know, but you need the alliteration going on, and but because what are we known for here? We're known for our lakes. There's really not a thing there for the lakes. I don't know. So Minneapolis Snow Melter, says Mighty Mike MN. That'd be kind of a weird mascot logo. I don't know.
Yeah. That'd be like a blowtorch to a snowman.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
oh no, May. They never play May. May is never in their meta.
Oh, I know. Draven says Minnesota Snowman. That'd be a pretty cool logo, but then we'd be pissed off for half of the year when it's not snowing anymore.
Or the Minnesota Blizzard, which is too close to Blizzard Entertainment.
Yeah, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Nothing snow related, because we know
The
what?
Minneapolis Snowpocalypse. No. That's too many syllables.
That's way too many syllables, and nobody would be able to spell it. So
yeah.
How about you? What did you think of? What's your big hot new team, and where are they located?
Well, I had a couple of ideas that, with Little Rock, we used to have like the Extreme Football League, the XFL or something. We used to have a team called the Little Rock Twisters, for tornadoes.
Yeah.
So I think that would be pretty good if we could just resurrect that. But then I also thought about other cities, and I was like, what about Tokyo? We should have one for Tokyo. And the obvious one that came to me was the Tokyo Kaiju, because that's those kaiju films. So either one of those, either the Tokyo Kaiju or the Little Rock Twisters, would be pretty cool.
There's new teams at some point coming, so we'll have to see. Like,
oh, nice.
Yeah, I know they're working on some. So, so there could be. We had some funny ones in here though. Wolf Tracker says the Seattle Caffeine Express. Okay.
Yeah. Eli says the Chicago Thugs.
Oh yeah. S Area 08 says the Drop Bears from Sydney, Australia, or inmates based from that map that was a Blizzard theme park. If you don't know what a drop bear is, because I had to go look it up because we're not Australian.
What is that?
It's a legend of like evil possessed koala bears that are like so a drop bear is basically like a red-eyed psycho koala. But they don't really exist. So, but apparently like there's now that kind of thing, but raccoons right now. There's like psycho raccoons. So, I mean, maybe drop bears might exist at some point. But I looked this up because I had no idea what a drop bear was. So all the Aussies listening to the show are going, "Oh, Jules, you didn't know." So,
we're gonna get letters. The next up, Torek says the Detroit Torque with some kind of muscle car theme logo, and perfect for the eventual burns up the fuel jokes anytime they beat Dallas. Yeah, the Torque, because they've got we've got fusion, fuel, torque. Yeah, that's very angry sounding.
Not bad. I really do.
That's
like
not
that.
bad. That's yeah.
And hashtag 1658 says, I think Canada needs a team. Vancouver Lumberjacks. Their battle cry would be timber.
There you go.
And then we'd be playing the timber song, and then it would be a bad news drop bears. So.
Yeah, they'll just start marching, and they're going down. We're yelling timber.
That's the song.
Yeah,
like that.
That's their intro song. That's like a wrestling intro song or something.
That'd
have to happen.
That would not be good. So.
Do we have the licensing to do that song? Can we get that?
Please no. Please don't allow it. It just can't happen.
The team song, gotta have it. At least the Dallas Fuel would have Metallica, so
yeah,
that would work.
Fire, or fire me up, fire. We didn't start the fire, all that stuff. So,
yeah,
it's easy enough. Let's do some slash moves. Draven Dresden says slash moo to Steven Spielberg for making Ready Player One so much fun.
Indeed, I second that slash moo. Mm-hmm. And Zafira says slash moo to the continued support for my blog, for Toasty, for participating in the most recent community spotlight, and the Blizzard devs on moving quickly for Battle for Azeroth. Super proud of them.
Thank you for your slash moos. And
yes.
That, Marconin, is a show.
Wow.
I couldn't even. The Punchy Conan is just the Punchy Conan is real tonight.
Wow. I did remember the story I was going to tell you though earlier.
You did? Oh, then tell it now.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a little bit of background. Last Thursday, no, yeah, last Friday actually. Last Friday, I was at work and it was the end of the day, so I'd parked up next to one of my coworkers, and two coworkers are sitting there. One, it's his truck, and then another coworker's in the passenger seat. They got the windows down. We're chatting, and I'm sitting in between their vehicle and mine, and we're just talking. And all of a sudden, a wasp lands on the passenger rear view mirror. I don't like things that have stingers because I don't want to know if I'm allergic or not. So I try not to get stung if I can help it. So I like, it's one of those things like I reflexingly just back away. And I'm like, oh, that's the thing. And it's just sitting there chilling by itself, not doing a dang thing wrong in the world. But I don't want to be near it. So I slowly get back. And my coworker who's got his arm out the window, he could tell it's like bugging me, no pun intended. And I slowly open the driver's side door of my work vehicle, and I'm going to slide. My intention is to slide in, shut the door, wait till the bug flies away, come back out.
Right.
My coworker decides to be all cool and nice and defending my honor, and he starts to swat at the bug as I've got the car door open.
Oh no.
Now I yell at him to stop because I don't want to have to kill this thing. And sure enough, the dude flies into my work vehicle and then goes down below the dash.
Oh no.
And I can't get to him. I can't kill him. I don't know where he's at.
No.
So I kind of go off on this dude. Like I get really, really mad because now I have a bug in my vehicle that can sting me, and we're about to leave for the day, so I can't do anything with it. And so I was like, fine. So I shut the door. And the next day I wasn't going to be in my vehicle because I was with one of the guys all day. So I just rode with him. So I'm like, okay, dude will die over the weekend. No food, no water. Wasn't very hot over the weekend, but like maybe he'll find a way to get out of the event or something. Leave me alone. So that was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Today, I am driving across the city when what do my wandering eyes see but the wasp coming back up through the dash and is flying towards my face.
Oh no.
Yeah. The look on my face was probably close to the construction workers on the side of the road when my car almost hit them because the thing, like, I was dodging out of the way.
Oh no.
So then I pull over to the side of the road. I open both the doors. I'm like, and then the first thing I do is call the coworker who put the thing in my car in the first place. And I yell at him again in a joking manner because he's a friend of mine. He's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I was like, yeah, I know you're sorry. You should have been sorry and left the thing alone because now I have to try and kill it again. So I leave the doors open for a while and everything. And then I'm mad. And then I get back in my car, stop and get a snack. And so I'm just sitting there still steaming about it. And then I bite my tongue really hard.
Oh
like
no.
It hurts. Like, and not where you bite the tip. Like my entire left molars just chomp down on the side of my tongue. That's why my mouth hurts today. So I've had a really fun day. That's why I'm punchy too. Because that stupid almost got stung on the face. And I bit my tongue. So
Did you get the wasp? Is it gone?
no, he went back down in the dash again.
Oh my gosh. You need to get some raid and just, raid.
Yeah, I'm probably going to. Well, I went to another job, and so I just left the windows down in my car and just left it there. We were there for like 2 hours. So I'm hoping he'll leave because I don't want to kill him. I was like, just get out. Just leave me alone.
And get out of my vehicle.
That's what I wanted to do from the first place. I just wanted to get in my work truck and have him leave me alone. But no, he's like, oh, I'll get him. Wipe. He goes and then sets up shop in my work vehicle. So I don't know where he's at. It just bugs me.
Yeah.
So that's the other
literally.
story. Yeah, literally. Ugh.
And that, my friends, is actually a show.
That is a show. Yeah.
So, what else is going on in the next 7 days?
Oh goodness.
Wow.
Trying not to work 12 hours a day. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's not a bad week. Looking forward. I don't really have anything going on over the next week.
Okay.
Going to work, paying the bills.
Okay.
Probably tanking again on Monday for raid.
Nice.
Which is fine. So yeah, nothing too special. My life is actually kind of boring a lot of times. Trying to play more Pokemon Go still.
Yeah. Cool.
Just doing the thing one day at a time, But yeah, that's about it for me. I don't have anything to plug.
All right, that's
Oh,
fine.
we have something to plug though.
Yes, we
In
do.
a couple of weeks. I don't know if you want to talk about that now or
We
or
can.
what.
If you are a patron, make sure you go check your patron messages. It should have emailed you too. Our next patron game night has been scheduled, and it's in Discord, and it's on your calendar. And if you want to be a part of the patron game nights and have a guaranteed spot in the game night shenanigans, all you need to do is donate to the Patreon, and it can be as little as $1. It does not have to be too much. But it helps the show, and in return, we give back to you. So that's what we're doing. So it's in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from Wednesday, like yesterday. So I think that was the 18th. Was April 18th?
Yes.
So cool. So check your messages, patrons, and thank you so much for your support.
Yes, thank you.
For me, you can listen to the latest episodes of BattleNet Sports and BattleNet News, and I'll be doing another episode of BattleNet Sports coming Monday, I think. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So
It really is.
with that, we're going to bring this show to a close like we always do, just like this. Tauren Think Tank is a proud member of the Convert to Raid Podcast Network. What?
Woo!
I changed it up. Convert to
What
Raid
is that?
Podcast Network. If you want to find out about the other great shows in the network, go to converttoraid.com.
This is weird. Nothing feels right anymore.
I know.
Oh.
Sounders the
Oh.
same though.
Oh, okay. Portions of the music and sound effects heard on this show can be found at incompetech.com and freesound.org. You can find us outside of the show on our website. That's still taurenThinkTank.com, though, which has all of our podcasts and information on how to get in touch with us, too. And with the weather changing, it's getting a little warmer out there. You're looking at your t-shirt game, and it's a little thin. You need to brush up and get some spring cleaning done in your awesome new Triple T t-shirt, which you can find at taurenThinkTank.com/store. And if you're on the Southern Hemisphere and you need another sweater or something, the weather's getting a little colder for you, we've got those there too.
Nice. Thank you to all who support our show via Patreon. If you would like to help out Triple T, you can do so at patreon.com/TaurenThinkTank. If you want to meet other members of the Triple T community, you can join our Discord server. You can talk about everything from your discussion topics, the stuff from the show, share like fun stuff, creative stuff, or if you need some support, there's a channel there too. Quick way to get there is tinyurl.com/TTT chat too.
Yes. And you can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/TaurenThinkTank. You can find us on the media of socials on Twitter. You can find the show at Tauren Think Tank. You can find Jules at Jules RPG. And you can find Marconin, which is me, at Marconin Wow.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat room, for being with us tonight and hanging out every Thursday night, 8 o'clock Central. Twitch.tv/Tauren Think Tank is where you find the live show and the chat room, which is oh so chatty and oh so roomy. So you can come and hang out with them as you'd like. Marconin,
Jules!
I hope that you de-punchify, relax, sleep, and have a wonderful week.
I will venture to do so, and I hope you have a wonderful week yourself. I will see you next time.
Thank you. For myself, for Marconin, for the entire chat room. Until next time, /moo, everybody.
/moo.
Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
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 I need to change this in the show notes, and I'm just going to change it now.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, Erlina, what's funny is my high school mascot was a yellow jacket, too, so I am very familiar with yellow jackets.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get stung by them.
They're awful, and they get in your soda cans, and they're awful.
Yeah, I remember having a Fresca out and about when I was little, had it outside, just a can of Fresca, and I came back and there were bees in it, and that gave me nightmare fuel for a while, so I always cover my drinks outside. I'm just like, no, put paper, put something on it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be stung. They're like,
They're-
oh, it's not that bad. And I was like, yeah, but, you know, getting your teeth pulled isn't that bad, but you still don't want it. Like,
No. No. I've been stung, I think, twice in my life, and it hurts like a mofo. So
yeah, I ain't into that. I've had them chase me.
yeah.
Like, I'm a big baby about it. Like, if I see a bee or something, like, I'll run away. I'll run around my car. I'll run, and I've run clear down to the street from my house. And the thing is still following me.
Yeah.
And so I have to, like, this giant guy just running around from something that no one else can see was to get really close.
Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me, you little bug. They're nasty, though. They are very nasty.
Hey, bee, don't hurt me. No more.
You are as punchy as I have seen you yet.
It happens.
It
you
happens.
get tired.
It's so funny.
You get tired. You have a weird, funky week. Really good news. I mean, I didn't even say that a really good review, and I got a really good raise at work. So I'm happy about that. And I don't think I told you about this, but they're increasing the head count of my promoted position by 1. So there's a darn good chance I may get a promotion. I did tell you about that because you
did
told
tell
me,
me that. Yeah.
I told you
Yeah.
that the other day. I've tried to sleep since then, and I failed.
Well, we'll make sure that you get sleep, Draven. We're waiting for a show titles if you got them, and we'll make our choice, and then we'll put Marconin to bed. We'll tuck him in, and we'll sing bedtime stories. We'll say, "Stay a while and listen."
Stay a while and listen.
And
I watched that Spotlight video, and I was like, hey, that's kind of cool.
I thought that
do
was
that.
the funniest thing I have ever seen. I was just
The
dying.
Lornado. I was like,
Yeah, the
oh, that's kind of funny.
Lornado. So funny. Like the little tongue in cheek and snark behind it was so great. All right.
Let's see.
Tombstone etching, Crazy Eyes, Marconin, Ready Player Tauren.
Ready, Tauren 1.
Don't pull out in front of a fire truck. Coloring my cat. It rubs the lotion in its
Lotions
hair.
on its hair.
Punchy
Craving
Conan.
crazy. Drama Llama Grandma. CrazyGrandmas.com, which was a shopping site we found out from Bim. Thank you, Bim. Thank you for dodging that bullet for us.
Bad news. You missed my little joke in there. I did
Which
say
one?
bad news drop bears after the whole thing. That would be bad news drop bears. And Ben was like, "Did you say? Is that what you just said?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he missed it, but you guys caught it."
I did miss it. No, yeah, I totally missed it. Oh, that sucks, Solaby. Oh, goodness.
Oof.
Stung many times as a kid, never had a problem. Got stung once 10 years ago. Woke up to the EMT treating you.
Yeah,
Goodness.
you can develop those allergies later in life too.
Yeah.
Okay, so my choices would be Ready Player Tauren, Coloring My Cat, or Bad News Drop Bears.
What was the first one you said?
Ready Player Tauren.
That one could. Any of those 3 sound good to me. I like all of those.
Chat room?
Bee hugs.
Chat room?
Yeah, you know, when I said napkins had saved my butt, like I was like, there's a poop joke in there, but I already had the farting stuff from last week, so I'm not going to pursue that rabbit. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But I was like, save my butt. No, I have not used napkins for that. I just mean like, if you got a really runny nose and you're like, oh no, I could have used a shirt. No, I need a napkin. Oh, thank goodness.
All right, chat room, pick your favorite show title out of the 3 that I mentioned.
Y'all are some nasty folk.
Yeah, well, you didn't see what the suggestion that that Draven threw into his show note options that I did not put into the notes, and he was all uppity about it. Is that he wanted to name the Overwatch League team the Cleveland Steamers.
Yeah.
And I said no. I'm not reading that on the show.
I would have read that on the show.
I'm not putting that on the show. I'm sorry, no.
I mean, if they would never do it, but that would be totally funny. Like,
they would never.
If they were like, hey, internet, we're going to put it up to a poll. What should the Cleveland Overwatch team be called? And it just be like Bodie McBoatface all over again.
Yeah, then you're just like, we're done. All right, if no one's gonna make a decision,
maybe coloring coloring my cat, or that one. I mean, I like that one because it's funny. But
Yeah, coloring my
Which
cat
one are
is
you-
fine. I was gonna go with Bad News Drop Bears, but I'll take.
Bad News Drop Bears works. Yeah, we could do that.
Okay. All right, then I'm putting that in there. There's one from last week, $50 a poop.
$50 a poop. Yeah.
From a llama grandma.
From my grandma.
Yeah, so Wicked, the story about the coloring my cat is that I got hair dye, purple hair dye, or more like Garrus got purple hair dye on himself by jumping up on my counter while I was coloring my hair. And that was when I said that, you know, he's he's lucky he's cute.
Yeah. Very lucky he's cute.
Is there a bad double meaning for drop bears, Bim? Because it was not just S. Aries who mentioned it. It was also MacGyver, but I didn't put his in there because it was a repeat. Is there a bad connotation for it?
Is that like a epithet or something we don't know about?
It's
Okay.
just telling me. Not that you know. Okay. All right, cool.
The BuzzFeed says a drop bear will effing cut you.
Well, it says that in Wikipedia says that it's a hoax in contemporary Australian folklore featuring a predatory carnivorous version of the koala. This imaginary animal is commonly spoken about in tall tales to scare tourists. So, yeah, it's just funny that I've never heard of it. Yeah, I hadn't. I had to look it up.
I had never heard of it too. I met a really cute, really cute, the little bulldog today at work. He was very short. He was very short and squat, and he just kind of ran around and like sniffed my leg and stuff today. He was very cute. And then I get home, and Pixie like sniffs my leg because she can sniff the dog, and then she just like puts her face right up against my pant leg and just stays there, just like follow it. Like I move my leg and her nose stays with it. So it's like, cat. Like what's the deal? I mean, he was just a dog that said hi.
She's just
fine.
like, I want to smell all of it.
Yeah, she's like, this is a new thing.
Thank
Okay,
you for
you checked
checking
Urban
Urban
Dictionary.
Dictionary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We was curious.
Yeah, no, this is actually really funny. On Wikipedia, it says Australian Geographic ran an article on its website on April 1st, 2013, purporting that researchers had found that drop bears were more likely to attack tourists than people with Australian accents. Yeah, you finally got to hear the Marsha story. Like, that is, 6 years in the making of that story. And it is stuck around to this day. That's too funny. Is there anybody in the chat room who has not heard the Marsha story? Because I have it on the soundboard.
Anyone at all?
So that was all right. We're gonna get out of here because I'm gonna go watch Overwatch League because the Houston Outlaws are playing tonight. After this,
Sweet,
it's coming up soon. So I want to watch the Houston game.
Do it.
So you guys have a fabulous night and week, and we'll be back next Thursday.
Yes, we will. Have a wonderful week, guys. Okay. Thanks for coming around tonight.
For coming by. Thank you for being very chatty and very roomy.
Yep, and thank you for the band hammer, Bim.
Yes, thank you for that too. I appreciate it. Talk to you guys later. Bye. /moo.
See ya.